the enemy swaps to like Farah Winston, and it's like we just can't really hold any positions.
Right,
I
right.
sort of throw the first fight, but on defense.
Okay,
But
okay. Good to hear.
I
I mean,
can't remember the full, but yeah,
is the father
on attack it
Winston?
was like pretty decent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, is the father Winston on attack or defense? Because we can skip to like just defense and then prioritize that going first.
I'm down for whatever. Yeah, yeah, it's just on defense. Yeah.
All right.
And then like OT. Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So yeah, what kind of elo is this as well? And is Brig like
This is this is Diamond 4.
Diamond 4? Okay. And is Brig like your main
Or
character,
Diamond
or
3,
is there
something
other
like
stuff that you play as well?
that. Yeah, I'm pretty much a Brig OTP.
Okay.
I'm trying to sort of pick up Lucio, but he's so hard. Yeah.
No, yeah, I relate to that because I used to OTP Brig a few years ago, so like I know how it is.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. Hopefully I don't get PTSD from a few years ago, but we'll see how it goes here. I guess like
it'll be something.
I mean, obviously historically playing against aerial characters are gonna be hard. I think like the main. I guess the main qualm, I mean, among repair, we're gonna see bad repair pack usage throughout, I'm pretty sure. But of course, like,
I'm sure.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you'll see like a lot of bad stuff, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, but I think the main, especially because the fact that you said you were doing fine on an attack, and it's only when did they start going, Winston forward, did you
Yeah,
actually
because they
struggling?
played like Ryan, they like mirrored Ryan or something on defense,
Right,
like the
right.
whole time, and then they just went Farah, Winston, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the key thing here, or I guess the key thing to understand is like making sure that you're timing your walk ups with when your team's walking up as well, or when your backline wants to walk up as well.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing here like Brig on a soldier, like you guys are going to be the main call here. This is your backline, this is your front line, and when the Winston jumps in, he's obviously going to pop bubble. And when the Winston goes in, this person's going to be playing the most aggressive. That's when this person's going to be hard peeking, hard coming around roofs and whatnot. So you need to be on the watch out for that. And then the second part, which is really important to this, is you need to catch either the Winston or the Farah during their downtime, i.e., when the Winston jumps out because his bubble's broken, when the Winston's got no armor and he jumps out, then you need to catch the Winston, or catch the Farah. And you've got like a short window of time to be able to do that. Because essentially what you don't want to happen is, oh yeah, I'm gonna let this guy jump out, I'm gonna let this person dash away, they're gonna get all their HP back, they're gonna get their visuals back, and then it's gonna become even harder. So I guess like you can't, like the hard thing for you is that you can't directly contribute to killing the Farah, but what you can do is contribute or encourage or help your soldier be able to walk up. What you can do is encourage your Winston or their Winston to sort of go away and piss off, basically. Now speaking of the Winston here and less with the Farah, in high elo the honor is going to be important too. There is some micro with like rotations, so a lot of the time what this happened a few times in OWCS during fucking Hangzhou, or even Super Cup I think from Admiral, where basically he'll be rotating and then he'll try and whip shot the Winston, and then during his whip shot animation he actually misses the whip shot into the Winston firstly, but during the animation, he actually slows himself down and he gets naded and he gets blown up and dies. A lot of the time, if the Winston isn't sort of the key threat that you need to be worried about, for example, because there's a big enemy that you need to be carrying, then bashing away is more important, and you can always whip shot the Winston afterwards. Because that's again the key kill threat. So I'll be looking at how often you get naded, how preventable that can be a lot of the time, as well as, again, do walk-ups against the Winston Farah. So, barring that, I think that's like specific to the comp stuff, and then obviously some general picks about repair packs, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes here.
Yeah.
Okay. Ta-da! Alright. Okay. So obviously you don't know what they're running.
I hear someone above, and I'm like, oh, I'll just peek it.
Yeah. I mean, and
then there ends up being a Farah and I'm in a room.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I don't necessarily mind you playing this far up close because you don't necessarily know what they're running yet. So like, again, depending on their comp, like,
I feel like the high ground is close enough, or like the honor is close enough that I can, like, I can't now, that I'm here,
Right, right.
but that I could go back, like, or peel if I need
Yeah.
to.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of like different comments where this would be viable, or this would be, I guess, viable
Yeah.
to do. I mean, the only situation I can really think of that comes to mind is like if you've got a DPS pushing here with you, and they're running like again
Yeah.
really ranged backline, really immobile backline, so like Zen, Bat Mercy, something like that, Weaver.
Okay.
And then again you can sort of like do a pincer push like this, maybe that could
Mhm.
work. But barring that, again,
Yeah.
look how far up you're and isolated you're playing against the rest of your team. Like, look at
Yeah.
Anna actually right now. Like, she
True.
is not happy right now.
Yeah.
She was very much like a brick bag. But unfortunately, you aren't
Yep.
there. So it's like an
I'm not there.
opportunity cost
Yep.
thing. So to say here is that like
Yeah,
I just don't
definitely.
see walking up here, regardless of
Yeah.
their comp really.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
and Anna dies because of that. So again, that's
Yeah.
very preventable just because you wanted to go into the room
Yeah.
here.
Just by being there.
Right. Your value is a whip shot. You get 2 shot by Farah, and now you're gonna die.
Yep.
So I guess like, what really was your motive? You said you heard someone up here, which is what caused you to walk here.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, oh, I'll just force them out because I think they were playing poke round. I can't remember exactly what the comp was first, like on attack, but
something a little bit more mobile, right? So
yeah, yeah. So it's like I can just control that, but then they were playing something more mobile,
I think
so
it's I think it's also important to keep in
I
mind that
misjudged
because
it.
you're in defense, you only get like these guys only need to attack this once, so they only need to win one fight for
Yeah,
them to push
yeah.
around. Whereas here you've got
Then they
multiple
need to win the
attempts
fight.
to keep pushing,
Yeah,
So like again,
yeah.
the risk to reward is not particularly great.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, next fight. So that's pretty unfortunate. Okay. Push again.
I think it staggers. Yeah, I can't remember.
Hopefully not. Looks fine so far. Maybe we'll use slowly. Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember.
And wasted pack. And we're gonna see a lot of wasted packs here, so I guess we'll denote the most important ones. That pack's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Again, that pack's a bit greedy. Okay. Winston jumps up left. Packing's fine there. He Winston jumps up. Yeah, there's not too much you could have done there really. Like you can't force at the Winston
Yeah.
going on this angle. Ryan walks up a bit too far. He gets walled off.
Yeah.
It's not like again you can essentially take a different angle here and maybe try and get some
Yeah.
value really. Your DPS are also pushing down main, so there's not too much you could really do. There's also again
Yeah.
not many threats you can deny because they're also just doing a 5v front to back kind of fight here, so not too much to
Yeah.
mention that. Okay. 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 Whipping the maze there, that's fine. We're gonna die. Okay. First point, not very eventful. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
plus fights. Okay. Everything's get evened out here a little bit on seconds. Okay. Okay. So, you get another killer, but where should you be generally thinking about playing? Where can you, like, generally want to play? And why?
I kind of prefer the left, like on
And
the
why-
stairs.
Why the left here?
Because it's close and I have cover, and
Close to what?
like with the like Winston jumping in, I can see the sort of like jump happening, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Or I can interrupt
Just
it
telegraphed,
pretty
right,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I think that makes sense. I think that positioning there is reasonable. My concern is again, I'm looking at how clumped up your team are right now, and it's like
Yeah.
not particularly great. And I guess a key idea I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but like, one key idea is
Yeah.
making sure you can threaten these like short sighted angles, not clear them out necessarily.
Yeah.
But similar to how
Yeah.
again, like here on first point, you can threaten
Yeah.
this angle here from anyone coming in this doorway. You can kind
Yeah.
of do a similar thing on the
Yeah.
stairway here. So like,
Yeah.
I think
I do play the like if we have the space, but because we haven't pushed up much, I haven't taken it.
right, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
But,
maybe there's
yeah.
an argument where like here's maybe a bit too pushed up because of your Ryan, but I don't see the danger or the
Yeah.
of you playing
Of
here,
being
regardless of
there.
what your team's currently playing at the current moment in time. You can still see everyone. You've got good cover to use. You can threaten this angle. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
also push up on the angle if your DPS clear it out. All kind of good stuff there.
Yeah.
So playing is fine. It's definitely a more debatey or more defensive sort of position to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no real reason to not do that. Then again, you can get extra value here. Nothing crazy though.
Okay.
All right, the Ryan stops walking up. Okay, playing relatively far back. Okay. Okay. Like, notice how this entire time, like, your Ryan actually
I'm like
pushes up.
behind the honor.
Exactly, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've got a free pick here, and you're still very cautious, or excessively cautious, we'll say, about walking up. Of course, it's important to be cautious here. You don't want to get traded out. Something I always say to players is, in a 5v4, you want to push slowly, is a saying that I have. Because, of course, you've got an advantage, push it. But don't cause that. Don't push at your own life. Don't push it at your own risk.
Yeah.
But again, like, the Baptiste is just playing here for no reason. And you would love to duel him, or at least push him out here, or threaten the angle. And then who knows? You push him out over here, maybe your DPS catch him on the rotate, something like that. But yeah, if I go to this Baptiste POV, even the Winston here as well, like, he's just half HP.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe again booping him, put him in your castle in the west,
forced him out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put them between a rock and a hard place, essentially.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Alright. Pack there's not great. Okay. So like, and I guess I'll mention this now with packs because it's so insane. Like, there will be fights here eventually, whether it's this game or in other games too, where like excessive or wasted pack management will end up in a teammate dying because you haven't got a pack for them. And again, I guess that sort of it links into an idea that I have with DPS players, which I call, or I relate to as like a visual aggro. In other words, look at the aggro that your team is taking and whether it requires a pack. So, for example, when I coach Genjis, I say, I was just doing it with a GM Genji the other day, where for some reason this guy was deflecting a Winston and a Tracer, and a Tracer was like 20 meters away, and it's like, why are you deflecting? There's no aggro that you can really be deflecting on. And it's the same kind of thing with packs, where if there's a Pharah who's 10 trillion miles away, your DPS are full HP, your DPS can take that aggro, unless again they get splashed or directed, and that requires a pack. So again, I guess the danger, I guess, of like your teammates are in, of teammates, and I guess also the whole point of this is that it gets you ready to think about packing. So like if you see a Pharah dueling a DPS, that gets you prepared to essentially pack them. It's not a go sign necessarily for you to immediately pack them the second that you see that happening.
Yeah.
It's a visual cue. It's a preparation sign. The signal. So keep that in the back of your head instead of, hey, I see red thing on my screen, I'm gonna immediately press my E button. Because again, it's gonna be, especially when you're playing against heavier dive comps, where packing becomes more important in terms of its timing, then of course you're gonna be needing your packs later. So yeah. Of course, I don't mind as well you packing your Ryan. Like maybe if you're 90 to rally, you need the extra vault charge. You can pack your tank. You can be a little bit more lenient. Of course, there's cases like that. Or if your tank's goes HP, that's fine as well. That's fine. But yeah, like those packs there are just not particularly brilliant. But yeah. Okay. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, so far, the main two mistakes have been positional. We saw first fight, you were a little bit. I say a little bit. It's a bit of an understatement, right? But you're almost going overcorrecting in terms of the amount of space you can be threatening, and here you're almost overcorrecting that in the other way, where you're not actually threatening any space here. But yeah. Okay, grip's fine. Okay, bowling's fine. Pack's okay. Okay. And you're packing up, you know, like look at your seat. Look, the Winter's not even looking at your soldier, you know. And I think it's fair to look at your soldier because he's in visor. You want to pack him. You want to keep him alive. Yeah. And there's a window behind him, right? But again, needs to be looking at the aggro. If the window was like behind the soldier, the window was like, I don't know, over here,
like right there,
right? Like then that makes a lot more sense. Then you want to pack the soldier, to prevent the burst damage of the window. But you can clearly see there's no window here. There's no reason to be scared. For your soldier to be that scared. So again, not a great pack. And pack. Right now, we could legit have 3 packs right now, and then when your Winston, and when your cast and your soldier walking up here, and your soldier now dueling a May, now again pack's gonna be
when they're actually doing something.
Exactly right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a pack there. Okay, yes, native, which is unfortunate. Okay. If I can maybe could have packed the cast there the second he dropped off the window. Like there's this slight optimizations you could be doing here the entire time, which is again not particularly great. Now here I want to focus on like I guess where you move to during the primal, and I suppose like why this isn't I'm not saying this is a bad or a mistake. It's just that it's not necessarily optimized. So if I press play here, I can get pushed away. Right, where can you look to move to? That still threatens the Winston, but still allows you to push up after the Winston jumps out. In other words, a position that allows you to keep these guys safe. Puts you at a good amount of safety too, but allows you to aggress when the Winston jumps out and your cast soldier walk up.
Are you suggesting that I should go more into main? Like,
Uh,
I'm not
less
quite
so.
sure exactly.
So
what
like,
you...
I guess like I'm probably not explaining that clearly, but like I guess another way I like explaining this is like aggressive, but safe. Again, it's a term that I use all the time. Where hey, I can still aggress into these characters. I can still aggress into the Winston when does he jump out? Yeah, like I can still aggress into the Winston here. I can still aggress into the Mei. But I'm still safe to kite back if I need to, because I've got distance, I've got cover, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, so where can you maybe be looking to play it? Why is this less so? Why is this a little bit more harder to walk up?
Because why is it harder?
Yeah, to walk up.
Like now, for me to walk up.
Yeah.
Oh, for the team, I mean, yeah. Because I'm not holding any space really.
Exactly, right? Like, so right, because what?
So it'd be better for me to be on the other side.
Exactly,
like, where you're
which is kind of what I was alluding to. Yeah. Where hey, I can actually walk up safely because there's pieces of cover that I can use. Hey, I can still pack my my DPS. Hey, I can still threaten the Winston. And hey, I can still run back if in case my DPS get caught or whatever the case may be. And again, if you can see how the Winston just jumps out of it for free, And I wanted you to kind of like rotate while your Winston was doing, or the Winston was like doing primal things, to sort of rotate across this open space. Yeah. And to move over here. Because then you can actually walk up here and threaten this angle. So it gets a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, and also it helps threaten him after he jumps out.
Exactly,
that makes
right?
Sense.
Yeah. So yeah, been unfortunate. Okay. There's also some like your tank's dead, so maybe this is less viable. But there's also some stuff we can do about trading aggro. It's pretty. I guess it's more important when you're running Zara based comps where you can get bubble and whatnot. But there are some times where you can actually go deeper and brawl. If you're on an angle like this, because
it's like fill the place, like the space for the tank. Is that sort of
exactly right? And we can get bubbles to essentially brawl here. Again, it's less viable here because your tank's dead and not running Zara, but something worth mentioning at least.
Yeah.
Okay. See here. Yeah. And you're good. Yeah. So we haven't seen you walk up much here for the same, but like get value and rotate. And that's because you're playing too defensively. You're playing way too far away. To actually punish anyone on the walk up. Okay, we'll see here. That's gonna be that point now. Unfortunate. And you just what we. And then you look at your soldier's crit HP getting shot by a Mei, and then you say hello on fucking Brig, and then you miss your soldier. We're just okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate too because this is kind of what I was alluding to about hey, I can actually hold the space with my soldier because I can deny the sort of angle. I can pack my soldier. We can hold the space a little bit. I can bash across this open space and still kite back relatively safely. So this is kind of again, you had the correct idea here. Just unfortunate that got a little bit tunneled saying fucking hello on Brick. But yeah. Okay, packs are fine. Okay, I would bash away the second your soldier died. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Why is it not great staying here?
Because I can't really do much about the Pharaoh, and I'm probably gonna get pushed by someone else on the BAP in this case.
And what if you're the enemy team here?
And I'm isolated.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like, if you're the Mei, you ward this off and you're cooked. If you're the Winston, you jump this and pin to this from two different angles and you're cooked.
Yeah.
So I would bash away immediately. The second your soldier dies, because you can't hold the space anymore.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you don't get punished for it. Enemy gets pinned. I mean, you do actually. Yeah. Okay. You do kind of get punished for it.
Oh, I get nanoed.
Yeah, you get nanoed for it, right? Which is again because you walked out a little bit too late. So. Yeah, not. I'm efficient using nano boost there. Like you can kind of see how like the impacts of like knowing when to walk up, walk away are really important here on Brig. So I guess the question it becomes, why when your soldier died here, why did you not bash away quickly, or bash after he died?
Why didn't I?
Yeah, why didn't you bash away when your soldier died?
Yeah. The only thing is like I don't, because there's Farah, I'm like I don't want to stack on my Ana. Um,
Right.
that's like the only thing that I'm like weary of. But even then, the room is there, so
Yeah.
it's a bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is fairly difficult on this portion of the map here. It's funny that you mentioned,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want to stack on my honor, because that's kind of the same idea on the second point where you were stacking on your honor the majority of the time, you know? And I was like
Yeah,
saying, take a
I'm not
slight different angle
worried
here.
about the Winston as much though in this.
Is that like why you never like bashed away?
I am like in before when it was just the Farah and
Right, the far
whatever
just spamming
the
you, yeah. Um,
yeah
I guess that's maybe some sort of like, I guess, a little bit of foresight, because well, like, again, this is like a really important to anticipate the dive
yeah
threat coming in. Again, I think it actually links into the second point as well, or the
yeah
second point defense as well, because you struggle to anticipate when to walk up, which I mentioned, but also when
hmm
they're actually diving and
yeah
coming in at you. A really important
yeah
idea that I very briefly talked about in I guess my Crazy Raccoon's Nightmare video. It was like how the key to living a good dive is to prevent it from even happening in the first place, to prevent a good dive from even
yeah
forming, because living an actual good
yeah
dive is really 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 hard. If the wind's in a good
yeah
position,
I think I
if the,
remember something like that, but I can't.
yeah,
What video was that?
it was in my
I kind of
I was Capitology, who's another coach, talked about it. But I also
oh
briefly
maybe yeah
brought it up in that video towards
yeah
the talking about Tracer
I
a little
think
bit.
I've watched it, but
Yeah, but like how
yeah
Big Honor can't like hold or like flush out certain characters because
yeah
it lacks mobility.
yeah
But again, it's like the idea like it is, hey, can we linking to the past idea about, hey, can we flush out the
hmm
angle or flush out the Winston before he even gets a good
yeah
angle here?
yeah
But also, again, you can't stay here because if you do, the dive's going to be too late, or it's going to be too little too late before you bash out and get dove by a Winston on the far.
yeah
So yeah, it's a little bit of a anticipation or foresight there to know that the Winston's going to jump you, you're going to get cooked. But yeah, again, kind of what I mentioned at the beginning as well, with like how you're almost playing here to whip shot someone away, or to whip shot the Farah away, or to whip shot the Winston away if they dive you.
yeah
You're missing the bigger picture, which is, hey, I need to bash away first because the whip shot doesn't matter anything. The whip shot doesn't
yeah
really mean anything. You can whip shot afterwards. Your actual position is more important. Attacks are fine.
yeah okay
Now yeah, nano, this is fine, of course. You can walk up here. So far,
yeah
I'm okay with this, which is fine. Rally's okay. I'm on the rally. Sure. I think that was maybe a bit excessive from your cast there. Rally there's fine, and I don't mind that at all. You can keep brawling there. The
Yeah.
Winston was walking out, he was low. The back was on high ground, he was punishable. Yeah, I think Rally's more than reasonable there. I've got no complaints. Okay. Let's see here. Alright.
I like rotate here, trying to get the
Okay.
Ana to go high ground, but they don't move.
Yeah, they don't move. So like, I mean, what are the two? I just kind of give it away by saying that. What are the different angles where the enemy team can like stage or die from? Like, how can they move on the push us attack?
Well, I guess yeah, two does give it away.
Yeah,
So main
yeah, main
or on the right.
on the right, yeah.
Yeah.
So how could you sort of prevent that sort of good dive setup from happening? Kind of what I
Mhm.
alluded to.
Well, it's pretty hard for them to get through main as a choke.
Right, so your Ryan
Um,
can hold this pretty
but
well, right? You can hold this pretty
yeah,
close. Right, is there an
yeah,
opportunity or is there a possibility to where you can threaten this angle while still being safe?
yeah.
Right, how can you do that here?
Like you can. It's a little bit hard with Farah, but if they push through main, um, I mean, you can do it from the high ground, sort of, but
Yeah, right. So and now you're getting somewhere. So you can do it from the high ground here,
yeah.
where hey, I can still see everyone. Hey, I can pack
Mhm.
cast, soldier, honor, whatever.
Yep.
Hey, I can still whip shot if they're going through main, but also
Yep.
I can whip shot and threaten anyone who comes from this angle. I'll probably clarify
Yeah.
what threaten means because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. But threaten basically just means, hey, if you push this angle, I will come and swing at you. I'll threaten you directly with
Yeah.
my big fat whip shot thing or my big fat melee weapon. It's not actually you killing
Yep.
them. It's not you actually dueling them. It's say, I exist.
Yeah.
If you push this, I am here. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
And that's what the purpose of the whip shot does. So
Yep.
yeah, so this would basically be the ideal position to be playing here. Where again you can still threaten this angle. This is also fine too, where you're standing, but hopefully I see you move here. Fingers crossed. Okay, now we're getting somewhere good. Nice. The pack's just not. We're packing 20 HP. Okay. And now we move away. Again, I think that moving away that's fine. If you're anticipating the Winston trying to jump you and trying to clear you out, then walking away there is fine.
Yeah.
And if you've got no information anyone's coming here and the Pharah is still spamming down main, which the Pharah is still spamming down main, then sure, you can move away. Really good whip shot there.
I have the realization, like now watching this, is after I hit this whip shot, I should probably try and push right.
Right, and
I
that's
think I like dropped down.
what. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna mention now. So the whip shot's really good, right?
Yeah.
Pack. What did you wait? What was your first pack on? Or was it tripping?
Tank.
Whip, and then
Yeah,
much
like
HP
full
is-
health tank.
Ryan's 6. No, he's gonna enjoy that 1 HP.
Why
Ryan
on
is,
healing?
he's gonna enjoy
Well,
that.
I mean, he probably gets inspired from this distance.
Yeah. But yeah, so the pack of the vice are great. Pack there again. You would ideally like to pack both your cast and your soldier there. So again, a little bit more
Yeah.
patience on the packs, but
I
barring that,
shouldn't have used it on the.
on the Ryan, yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Okay. So and we mentioned how again, is it like possible for you to walk up here after the Winston dives, or after the you've sort of absorbed the dive, so to say, with the Winston's half HP, which he is at right now, and he's already used bubble.
It's kind of hard
It is hard, right? Yeah.
if the deeps were like in the room on the left. I feel like it might have been possible. Like there's more of a threat that they have
Right,
to look
right.
at, so I can push forward, but because they're like all stacked on main, it's a bit hard
Yeah, it is a.
to push.
Yeah,
push
it's a bit
right.
hard here, and actually your honor ends up dying here. So I would not expect you to walk here. I would expect you to give all the space here,
Yeah.
really. Or
Yeah.
Ryan can look for a trade slam, so he slams literally right now, which would be perfect, and then you try and trade for kills. Either
Yeah.
one of those is fine. But yeah, so like I don't expect to drop here, even if your DPS are playing here. I still think it's a little bit
Yep.
risky to drop because you lose LOS of your DPS. As in you just can't
Yeah.
back them because of the wall. And again, it's
True.
dangerous because you get cleaved by the Winston. The May can still wall you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can actually
Yeah,
play a little
true.
bit more aggro than you can accidentally push farther than your Ryan, and you can get pushed up and die.
Yeah.
Which is not particularly great. The pushing up that I'm also looking for is from like a different angle. So we kind of saw here, to give some examples, we kind of saw here this would be a great push up, right? We're doing it with a different angle. You're pushing up with cover. Another example would be again over here, pushing up from a different angle, doing it with cover.
Yeah.
And still keeping an escape path down here.
Yeah.
Those are
There isn't
those are
really
some
cover
examples.
on the
Yeah.
on the other side, and there isn't really anywhere to go.
Exactly, right?
if I get pushed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I guess the only situation is like if a DPS was here with you, like again, like literally right now, like if a DPS was here with you, you 2v1 the Pharah here, 2v1 the Pharah, and then push this angle, and then you'd be a-okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Flipping down is fine. I would go away though. Yeah, I would bash away. Like second your honor dies, you need to go away. Like you need to bash away.
Yeah.
Keep LOS.
Need to be behind this corner.
Exactly, right? So again, there's some sort of miscalculation in terms of anticipation. Like you're not anticipating anything happening after your honor
Them
dies.
like pushing me.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess like why is that? Did you just not realize your honor died here, or?
I actually don't know if I did realize. Yeah. Or like immediately realized anyway. But yeah.
This is the second time.
I
where it's
think
kinda
I
happened.
don't expect people to push me like as hard as they are. I guess because they're playing dive. I don't know if I'm just like used to playing against brawl,
That might be.
where they
That
like
could be it.
aren't necessarily push me that hard.
Right. Because that
Or, like,
is a factor. Because if you play, because the way you play Brig with Malga and into Malga comps or like Brawl comps in general, or playing Brig Juno is a lot different to how you play Brig with Brig Honor, and the backline of course that you're playing with as well. So yeah, that might be it. Where like, hey, I don't need to worry about this necessarily. I can look for trade kills or I can
But
look
yeah,
for draw
it's probably
essentially.
more so just I'm not thinking about them pushing it, or I'm not like I don't have it in my head that they can push me
Right,
from there.
right. So I
You know.
think we can sort of distill this down into like maybe an if-then statement. So like, we'll use this wall here. It'd be like if they're playing if dive, we'll say then anticipate uh threats via triggers. The triggers could be the most obvious triggers, obviously the kill feed. So like someone dying is a numbered trigger.
Yeah.
Which is the previous two that we've seen. Other ones as well that are a little bit more subtle to spot are positional. So like if you're stacked and let's say you just know that again because you're stacked they're swinging wide and then taking different angles, then that's a trigger that you can anticipate. And that might cause you to in a team setting that might cause you to rally early and push early to prevent them from actually diving you in the
Yeah.
first place or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But that's more so for again high level play. But again, it is
Yeah.
the most two common examples that we just seen have been numbers based. So yeah, then that becomes more important to again theorize or keep in mind. Okay, let's see here.
I think we just died.
Yeah, and then your backline will just get ordered here, and it's a bit unfortunate because I genuinely reckon your team or your backline could have lived that had you bashed away quickly.
Yeah.
Like let's say
Yeah.
I don't know, you were
Like as soon as I had dropped almost.
yeah, like literally, like you'd be back over here right now. You can whip the far. And the nice thing about playing backwards or playing back over here is that you can see
I can
everything,
see.
and your LOS is really nice.
Yeah.
So hey, I can like whip the
Yeah,
far.
because I like didn't
yeah.
see the Pharaoh
Exactly right.
until it was like too late.
Yeah, yeah. It was unfortunate. Yeah, she gets like insane cleave there,
Yeah.
and you're probably gonna like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 minutes on attack, not looking good. Okay.
Yeah.
Get up here. Okay. That's unfortunate. Just bash, sure. Fine. Fine. That's it, okay. Even though your cast was like full HP, the fact that the Winston jumped in there, and the fact that the May wall was like blocking off the cast, implies that, hey,
Yeah.
the cast is going to get hard pushed here. So again, there's like visual aggro from the May wall, the Winston jump, and the bubble. That implies, hey, my cast is going to take a fuck ton of aggro. I need to pack him immediately. So yeah, that's just good there. Cover's good. Okay. They pack less so there, but it's fine. Okay. Small thing, but I would probably not bash, but I would definitely walk forward here while the blitz is going off, because again, look at the aggro the rest of your team's taking. Is your cast taking
like
a lot of
walk
aggro
forward
here?
into the like into main?
Yeah, I would
or
walk
into the
I would keep bashing
Okay.
for it, right, in case you get jumped here. But because considering that again, the rest of your team aren't taking that much aggro, your Ryan is, you can see your Ryan implying
He's taking a heap.
he's taking he's taking a lot of aggro here. That allows you to walk forward. So yeah.
Okay.
I think there's some visual aggro there to allow you to walk forward. Ooh, unfortunate. Okay. Unfortunate there. So ideally, again, you walk forward here, and then you can actually bash away. You get kind of caught up on this little corner thing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of like, and it's too little, too late essentially. When by the time you woke up, your Ryan's already dead. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, that's probably gonna be that. Unfortunate. Okay, overtime. Oh, this goes. Okay. So, wait, are those the perk? Wait, hang on. Wait, what perk do you? Is that the whip shot damage perk? And
That's
is that
the whip shot one.
And is that the
shield restoration?
Why are those two perks?
The speed. Pardon?
Why
On
those two perks?
this point, and now that I think about it, this point and the comp, it's probably better to take Inspire. Or the Shield Bash one, actually. No, I need to remember which one's which. So the minor one is Inspire or Shield Restoration.
Yeah, Inspire. Yeah.
And then the major one is
The pack
or
whip shot.
Whip shot. Considering they're not running like they're running Flyer plus like a dive tank like Winston or
right,
in this case Devo. it's probably better for me to take the pack, like the extra pack rather than the whip shot damage. Um, I don't know. I just default to these, but yeah, you're making me think about it now. And then, but I feel like the shield bash one makes sense because of the speed. It can help you disengage from a dive.
Yeah.
Or just reposition.
Yeah. The thing is, the overwhelming majority of players actually pick the two opposite perks. Because Inspire just gives you more ult charge. And
it does.
that's just charges value faster. And then Pack is just good or reliable. Like it's just more healing, more again contributes to ult charge. Can easily prevent someone from dying. Whereas the whip damage, I mean, again, playing especially into the Pharah, whereas like
into the Pharah and
it just makes not much sense.
Not much sense.
I could see it more
that's true.
had he been playing into like a Tracer or something like that.
Tracer or something, yeah.
Right, or Sombra, right? And even then, I still think Pack is still pretty useful because hey, they're playing a dive comp. Hey, my backline needs to be able to live. Hey, an extra 35 healing or whatever it is, below half HP, whatever it is actually going to be really useful.
35 flat.
35 flat, yeah. Is going to be useful no matter what.
Oh no, it is critical. It's critical, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's below
targets.
A certain amount of threshold of HP there.
Yeah.
But we saw that on literally the last fight where your backline got critical, or there's been multiple times where your backend's been critical, and you know that part could essentially make you use one pack then instead of two, or it could actually make you just save lives because the instant healing is more useful. That's kind of like I guess the thought process there. If the shield perk allows you to reposition more, or allows you to like again move more quickly, then I'm fine with that. I think that's a fairly reasonable point to make. Especially considering that again you're not playing a brawl comp where your uptime for Inspire is heavily reliant on your brawl cycles, where your Malga goes in or your Orisa goes in, your Ram goes in, etc. Then the Inspire can like sort of cover those downtime periods. But
the shield one probably makes more sense in a against Brawler too, because you're like not gonna have like swings as much. Like you're not gonna hit your normal like swings
exactly
like as much.
Yeah, I mean
against the dive comp.
Yeah. So I would start experimenting or thinking about the other perks as well in your game as well, instead of defaulting to those two. But yeah. Okay. We'll see how this attack goes. Up here. Alright. Okay. Fortunate that you're. Oh boy. So I don't think I need to explain what the issue with this is.
Still bashed in front of like everyone.
Yes, yeah. It's
I feel like I do this a lot. Or like or not necessarily shield bash. Like this one's really bad. So like sometimes I just like position in a way where like 4 people can just see me.
Right.
And I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah. I guess like the classic example I like using is where mercies will fly to someone when they're critical HP, and they'll make 1 dead person, 2 dead people, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Where hey, I'm gonna try and save my soldier's life, and I might make 1 dead person, i.e. the soldier, 2 dead people, because then you might die in open space. So really, you should really die here the second you bash, and you're probably gonna live and get away with this because it's ranked and it's diamond.
I think I do.
Yeah. God, how does that even happen? But
I didn't even get hit.
Yeah, you don't get hit at all. There's no nade, no like if I'm that diva, I fly straight onto that soldier immediately. Like, I don't even want to like think about it. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. But the good news is that at least here, in theory, you would be in a good position to push with the soldier. Hey, I can still threaten this angle with my soldier.
Yeah, the soldier doesn't push it.
And looking at him now, he's decided to like, just for some reason, not take the angle here, the freest angle in the world where my Brig's playing.
I think I wave at him.
Yeah, you ping it as well, which is you're doing the correct thing.
Yeah. And then I thought he was gonna do it, and then he just grabs the health back. I was like so confused.
Yeah. This is still fine though, right? Like this is still fine with what I mean. He's going to it anyways, right? But regardless, this is still fine because you're threatening the angle here. You're being like, hey, if you're gonna play here, you're gonna get whipped by me. You're gonna, you have to look at me essentially compared to my team down main. So still going here regardless of what your soldier does is still the correct move. Fortunately here though, now we're seeing where it gets really strong, so I expect to pack a soldier good. Bruh. Yeah, messing with a whip shot on the diva there, not particularly great.
Not great.
Yeah. I guess like I know as a big player that I used to know back at my uni who was not mechanically great. And he would miss whip shots like these all the time. I also knew you were a Doom player who would also miss Doom shots when doing a Lucio, despite being very good at the character. So I guess like the idea here, or the overarching idea, is take your time. Because the main idea here is, hey, I want to keep my soldier alive. You've done that. You can do that with packs, even with the perk as well. You can do that as well. So hey, you've done that. Take your time. Diva's not a major threat right now, so you can whip up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you drop
Ooh.
there?
Would I drop it? You tell me. What would be the circumstances in which case it would be fine or safe to drop it?
Well, I mean, I sort of can duel the diva if I don't have, if I have my shield bash. Because, like,
Yeah,
rockets
right?
are the only thing that's,
Scary.
like, hard to deal with. Yeah, scary. Uh, I don't feel like I'd necessarily give up much. Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing.
Right.
Like,
So,
I don't think the diva really wants to use this position necessarily, like... So I don't think I'm giving anything up by dropping, necessarily.
yeah, I don't think I think the correct move is to drop it. But I think the nuance is you need to do it in such a way that's safe to your character. Because what you do here is A, you miss the whip, so no inspire.
I use my shield bash.
And then you use the shield bash. Right? And now you're gonna get burnt to a crisp. Or you should get burnt to a crisp by a good diva.
Yeah. I should have just dipped behind the stairs and waited a bit.
Exactly. Right? You can still ball diva, keep it at a bit distance. If she boosts onto you and pops her missiles, you can bash away and you should be okay, hopefully. But yeah, similar to what again what I talked about briefly on third point where hey, I'm not gonna go over to it, it's too far away. But like, you know, where you can walk up, save your Ryan, and then bash away in danger. And it's the same idea.
Yeah.
I think also another factor is you might want to consider is the mobility of the enemy team here too. These guys cannot realistically jump you because they physically can't. They haven't have not got the mobility to do so. Whereas conversely, if they're playing Venture plus Lucio plus Juno plus fucking characters like that basically that can jump you, then
it's a bit
dropping
scarier.
It's a lot scarier to do so. Right? At least you want another character to be able to drop it. So I would expect you, based on how you approach this, I would expect you to die for this. But that's not me saying that dropping her is the wrong thing to do.
I can't remember, but I probably
maybe.
should.
Why is she?
No, she just ignores me. She has a wall.
She has a free wall. She's got plenty of armor. Her backlink can see. And okay, she hasn't got missiles here, right? But still, like, it's still ridiculous for her to not push you here after you wasting bash and whip shots. Okay, okay. I know you meant to pack the soldier there, but still. Okay, we're still packing Ryan. Okay. Do you think about your packs? Because these packs to me look like because watching this back, right? It's obvious to not pack the Ryan here, but like yeah.
It's hard. I don't know. I feel like I always want to pack someone.
Well, to keep the packs rolling.
And the fact that I like can't see anyone, it's like I just throw a pack on the Ryan. But it depends. Like if I'm playing like against dive, I feel like generally I try and keep at least a pack, but like for my other support, depending on what they're playing. But yeah, like sometimes I try and delay it as much as I can, like stuff like that, like try and put it on critical targets. But yeah, sometimes I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't just say it's necessarily on critical targets. I would say it's targets based on aggression, right? So like you look at your Ryan right now, he's pinning the fucking like packing your Ryan.
Getting attention.
Right,
now would be
yeah,
better.
exactly, right. Now, I wouldn't mind as much packing your Ryan. Now, obviously, disproportionately, he's got a big ass HP pool. Packing him is going to be less useful than packing a squishy.
Yeah.
But the idea is sort of the same. And the inverse is true as well, where a target can maybe be critical, but not taking any aggression at all, right? Maybe there's a critical Widow playing over here, and you haven't got to necessarily tunnel to get the pack. And conversely, there's a big fat Orion who's like taking a fuck ton of aggro. Then I'd put more resources into focusing, helping out your Ryan.
Yeah, obviously.
Rolling with your Ryan, right? So again, it's based on aggression, not necessarily on HP, even though that can be a good indicator of aggression. But yeah. That pack makes sense, right? So yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, you just still gets blown up anyways. Okay, bash away. Fine. Yeah, we'll look back at this a little bit, because you use whip here.
Should I have saved the whip after leaving? Oh, well,
it's the same thing as like...
Keep going.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like visual aggro. Where again, like, it's how it was the reasonability, what's like the chance of you hitting the whip. Like, do you need to be hitting or throwing the whip out here on the Bastion? Like, I'll rephrase it actually. In what situation would it be okay for you to whip the Bastion here? Where would he move?
Wait. In what situation would it be okay?
Yeah, to whip the Bastion, or to invest whip shot into whipping the Bastion here.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure exactly what you mean.
Like, so, like, is the Bastion aggressing
like
onto
if he's aggressing on me.
Right,
so
like,
saying?
if he's here, and he's walking onto you because he wants to kill you, whipping him makes sense. Conversely,
to push him away.
Right, and conversely, if your Ryan's pinning and you're aggressing this angle, then whipping off the high ground makes sense, right? So yeah, like, I wouldn't be, I guess, like, that's not to say, I want to clarify this, it's not to say that I wouldn't want you to whip, just for, like, inspire, because that was obviously very important, but it's more so to say, be a little bit more patient and cautious with your whip shots, based on how aggressive you're playing for inspire, but also how aggressive they're playing to come and kill you, or to come and push out your angle. So yeah. Like, you could even peek this and look for a whip, right? That's fine as well, because you're banking off the aggro from your Ryan. So yeah. Okay. Walking is fine though, obviously. Boarding there's fine. Okay.
I was saying here, I probably should have saved the whip shot for after the like shield bash. Well, I guess I missed the shield bash, so I wouldn't have really had the opportunity afterwards. But
so there's like two slight things here, right? So notice how you walk up. Your Ryan's dead here, right? Notice how you walk up it, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is the thing I was mentioning on the start of third point, and a little bit on second point too. Of like,
I guess as soon as the Ryan died, I probably should have left.
Yeah, it means positioning becomes more important than whip shots, you know? You did bash away first and whip shot afterwards, because walking in front here makes no sense. So yeah, there's sort of, I guess, like a prioritization of your abilities, or what you wouldn't be thinking about on Breaker, because you do live here, right? You do bash away, but you're down to 40 HP. And you could very have easily died there to a better D.Va or a better team. So yeah, I guess again a little bit of greed there from walking a bit forward after your Ryan dies. Again, paying attention to death triggers there. Okay. We'll see here. Fortunately, you do live though. Okay. Good pack. Oh, you can see here that, like, if you had the pack perk, right, that critical soldier, like that extra 35 healing can make the difference between life or death, you know. But yeah, we'll see where you move to, because
probably shouldn't have walked.
Across, you do it again, right? Similar to literally the very first fire in overtime, where
I could have shield bashed across, but it's kind of
you could have shield bashed across. That would have been fine too, right? No one's gonna come and drop off the high gun to come and chase you. That's fine as well. And then you can outbrawl a D.Va obviously up close.
Although it's a little bit late time wise, but
yeah. So you can either just stay here, pack a soldier, move to high ground, or bash across and then brawl D.Va. But yeah. Okay. 20 HP, oh my god. Yeah, I end up getting caught there. Okay. Alright, we'll see here. And again, it's like you're not paying attention to, or you're not anticipating the aggression from the enemy team when you use your abilities. It's something that, again, that we saw on third point, where you almost got caught out. You got nano boosted to save your life, basically. And without it, you would have died. So yeah, similar idea or concept there. Okay, we'll see here.
I think I go Lucio or something.
Here we go. Oh god. Okay, this is okay.
Yeah.
Let's see their attack, which judging by the time code, they do not take long to cap.
Not.
Zen here.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I guess then you can skip it if you want. But...
Okay, yeah. I guess like we can go through like attack a little bit here, or like maybe got a little bit of time to go through another code if you want to go through that.
Yeah.
Other one's fine.
No, well, yeah, we don't have too much longer, so I'm happy just to do the start of the...
Yeah, we'll just go through the attack here, I suppose. Okay. Alright. Go back out a little bit, actually. I say you approach this differently,
yeah, I
actually.
think the Ryan goes high ground, and I play main.
Alright. We'll see.
I'm wasting my packs.
Yeah, obviously wasting backs
No,
there.
you're pointing it out,
Oh
I'm
my
just like
God.
being critical of myself.
Okay, wait. Yeah, okay, what's the slight issue with this bash? Why is this bash a bit scary?
Because now I have nothing to get at, plus the Mei probably has wall.
Right, you can get counter-walled, you can get rocked, the Sigma can walk onto you and wall you, the Honor can nade you, the Freya can do stuff to you, and get AoE damage, right? Like, you're pushing beyond your Ryan. And your Mei too, because she's on cryo. So, again, it's a little bit too eager. And again, you're not anticipating the aggro from the enemy team here at all. So yeah, of course, you can walk here, right? Just walk normally. You've got aggression, you've got the wall, you've got the Ryan pin, walk normally.
Yeah.
That's fine. But just bash away, or keep the bash for it, because you need to be anticipating to push back onto you.
Getting out.
Yeah. Okay. And notice how you do like the kind of inverse, right? Where you sort of go in while your Ryan's out.
And then I walk away.
Yeah, and now you're out while your Ryan's in, which is not great in terms of the timing of your aggro there. So yeah, because right now you'd love to have like actually walk through the Ryan there, maybe boop the Mei in, so again you can maybe get some more damage onto the Mei, right? Something akin to that. But yeah. Okay. A small thing. Where can you bash to?
Yeah. Where can I bash to?
Yeah.
Either the stairs or the room, like mini. But
do you mean like like you mean back over here, right?
No, I mean across main.
Okay. Let's do a quick little thinking exercise. Let's say you bash from here to over here. What?
Oh, you mean out? Like to get out, or to?
Like literally, like right now, where you are right now, to like how to
the
position that you're playing right now, to like bash into the Ryan and go into
so I could bash there to help the Ryan.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is this actually? How much aggro would you anticipate taking here?
Well, I guess the Sig might like shield and then push up.
Right.
But
maybe. Right.
Other than that, like, not a lot of people can like threaten me. I guess Freya could if she had updraft, but I don't know where she is.
Maybe, right? I'll refer back to the idea in a moment. But notice the difference between bashing from here to here and bashing just like how you did first fight from here to
just
here,
into main.
Exactly. Notice the difference between there, because this one you're anticipating a lot less aggro coming towards you. Because again, no one can do shit. Right? This guy's not going to walk forward realistically here, and we'll talk about why in a moment. This person can't do anything. They're not that mobile. Not mobile. Cover you can use. Good amount of distance as well. And again, they're not going to push you. So that leads me to the idea about why they're not going to push you here. And this is the importance of the aggressive but safe idea. If this person walks forward here, what does that allow the rest of your team to do? What does that allow your Mei, your Freya, your Honor?
Shoot them.
Yeah,
like punish them.
Exactly.
Them.
Your Freya walks forward here and is able to clear high ground because the Sigma's not marking the Freya. You know.
Yeah, true.
It's again, the way I like explaining this is you want to put yourself in positions such that if the enemy team force you out, or if the enemy team want to dislodge you, they need to put themselves at risk for doing so. The Sigma, in other words, would be putting himself at risk, or his team at risk, by pushing you. Because he can't mark Freya anymore. He can't mark Arnanes anymore. He can't mark Mei walking up anymore. And that's really the key idea. Same thing goes to the Freya as well, obviously. If she wants to push you, she needs to come out in open space, she needs to invest mobility cooldowns, she's putting herself at risk for doing that. And that's what makes these positions aggressive but safe. So yeah,
Yep.
that's the. I guess like that's probably one of the keyest or most important, I guess, examples between again that first bash and that second bash, and why that
Yeah.
difference is important.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, we'll see here. Okay, had you done that right, you can hack your Ryan, bore the Mei, kill the Mei, right? It's that kind of stuff.
Yep.
If I may live, I'm gonna cry. Okay, thankfully. But yeah, again, that you don't want to give
Yeah.
any chance for that. You know, you could have got more value there. Again, you could
Yeah,
have maybe
okay.
pushed through the Ryan here,
Mhm.
could the high ground, etc., etc. So,
Yeah.
yeah, missed opportunity there is what I'll say. Hooah.
Yeah, yeah.
And generally in your play too, it looks like
Mhm.
you're either playing really, really aggressive or really, really passive. And there's
Or
like this,
super defensive, like one or the other.
yeah, exactly, like one or the other. And there's like a strong imbalance, right? Where literally first fight in this entire VOD that we saw was extremely aggressive for no reason. That bash there was
Yeah.
extremely aggressive for
Yeah.
no reason. And conversely,
Yeah.
we've seen the opposite, where we've seen you play really, really passive on second point defense, where
Yeah.
we saw you play really, really your Cass got also your Vine got when they capped that point when they just capped that point attack on their attack where you could have walked up to help your Ryan, you didn't. You played really, really far back.
Yeah.
And it's the
Yeah.
fact that you're not anticipating the aggro from the enemy team. So
Yeah.
you don't know when you're gonna get punished there essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really the main thing with your play so far that I've seen. Barring the
Yeah.
packs, obviously. But yeah. Okay. Pushing up is fine. Yang packs are a little bit greedy. What aggro can you anticipate by walking up forward here? Why is this actually fine now?
Well, they'd have to push all the way through room to really
Right?
like.
They've got two options. Right? Now
like,
you're starting. Now you're getting on the right track of thinking where, hey, they need to push into this room, which is not great for them because they're not.
Yeah.
These guys
Which
aren't built for
my
that.
team has LOS of the door anyway.
Exactly. Or they swing really,
Yeah.
really wide, which still isn't great
really
because
wide.
they've got
Yeah.
no retreat path. Not to mention,
Yeah.
Mei's also dead, so you can't get counter ward here at all. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that kind of thinking there is ideal, and of course the wall here as well is better than
Yeah.
the wall here initially because the back end just can't see the stick. So bashing
Yeah.
here, perfect, all good. This bash here is reasonable.
Okay.
And look, didn't get punished for that. That's all.
Yep.
Okay. See that? Pack and pack. Jesus Christ. It's like every other time, like something good happens. It's like, oh yeah, the pack is just fucking yeah. In fairness, like if there's no need to like if you're not seeing like any time at all, like your team are just rolling through the enemy team, then I guess you can be a little bit more liberal with your packs. I guess I can be a caveat
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because so far that we've seen is like the enemy team have had no resistance to pushing you guys here at all. So I guess again you can be a little bit more liberal with your packs from every now and then.
Yeah.
You're pushing through here, fine. Right? Is this fine to play? What aggro can you
Yep.
anticipate by playing here?
Pretty much just the tank.
Yeah, just Sig, right? And you're fine with that. You can
Yep.
shield away, accretion's not a big deal, you can bash away, you're fine. So
Yep.
this is also fine as well. Okay. Wrong POV. Unfortunate whip. I think that whip there is fine, you're aggressive onto the Sigma there, I'm okay with that. Okay, your mage just gets a free kill. Unfortunate whip. Okay. Okay, this is also fine as well. Right, you up a number, your Ryan's
Yep.
pushing, all's been used, the six far away, you're pushing cart, this is all good. So far, so good. Okay. A nice LOS there. You can now board her. Nice. Right, just like night and day difference between, again,
Yeah.
like this sort of last sort of half of the first point here and as what we've seen through again the first fight here and some of the defense as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a bit unfortunate that maybe a tiny bit again. Like the thing is, you can aggress onto the honor there, but of course keep a little bit of awareness on the sick aggression there. And again,
The
links back to the
Sig,
anticipation.
yeah.
And you're not anticipating getting rocked, which is why you got rocked. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Then you could have avoiding the honor. That was fine. Okay. Let's see a little bit on second point here. Yeah. See, in fact, that's fine. Is he on or
I wasn't too sure whether I should be pushing cart or
yeah,
the
yeah.
honor.
So
like,
I'm just gonna say it now. In high level play, you'll be on cart, your honor will be pushed up, and then you'll just.
yeah.
But in ranked, just don't overthink it. What I don't want is both of
Yeah,
you on
okay.
cart. That's the worst thing.
Yeah,
that happens.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, just push up a little bit. It's your honest.
I have this like all the time where I'm like, do I?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't worry
But
about
I
it too
guess
much.
yeah, if the other squad's just sitting on cart, then I may as well just
Yeah,
push
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is like I have rally, so as like fight. Well, I don't actually. She has nano, does she? Or am I looking at the wrong one? Yeah, she almost has nano too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not really that.
Obviously, it's not like you could have. The best place you could have played is probably like over here, maybe, and then try and look for a whip. Really, that's it. So it's not like you missed out too much. But again, something to keep in mind. Okay. I think, but you got Valley there, so you're packing the one that's fine to get Valley. I'm okay with that. Okay, Ryan gets slipped. Okay. Pushing up is fine. And I do. One thing I will say is that your playstyle or your ability to push up more is a lot better when you're playing into less mobile comps, or you're playing into again like a comp like this. But again, they're not playing Winston Farah. Obviously, if they're playing Winston Farah, you can't push up here because you need to be anticipating them jumping you and concussing you here. But obviously, they can't do shit about you. So yeah, doing this is fine. Even this is, I mean, this is less so, but pushing up here is honestly fine.
Yeah.
Like you got cover to use. They can't
like
aggro you.
me thinking, like, because I remember this part, and I'm like, oh wait, 4 people can look at me. Like this is like.
Like, you're not anticipating.
Like sometimes I just don't think about it. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if you could even maybe rally this and look for a kill here, but obviously I wouldn't want to do that.
I do end up rallying, but it's in response to nano on the BAP.
Okay. That sounds more reasonable, but of course, like your team's already used the ultimates. I wouldn't want to dump in anything more.
Yeah.
Unless you need to, so that's fine. But again, like here, this is fine, right? Because again, there's no aggro that you need to be anticipating. Here though, there is, because there's 3 different people you're walking into.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
I could have pulled into the crates a little bit, but
what into here?
Here, yeah.
Yeah. You probably could have done that.
And played it slower.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like the whole linking back to the aggressive but safe thing, right? If they want to come and flush you out, well, hey, they need to walk through a blizzard first to be able to do that, and also they need to look at my Freya, Rhino who are pushing forward as well, stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold up. Let's look at this value here a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not gonna crack the mechanics there about missing whip shot there too much. Okay. Yeah, you'll just get melted by the Bastion there.
Yeah, by the Bastion.
It's 1 HP. I don't think there's like.
I know.
I think everything that's of course like a micro that with Valley. But I think the key idea is again everything that led up to it in the first place, or leading up to you needing to rally that in the first place. Because then had you just been able to like your Ryan's been able to clear the Orisa, your team's been able to clear the Orisa. Had you just played here like you said, or played here,
yeah,
you would have been
and played
fine.
slower.
Right, exactly.
And just taken the attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which I think something like when I take space, I like should do is like just play it slower, like play my life. They're looking at me, and yeah.
Sure. And actually, speaking of that, I think we can do a quick summary at the end, basically.
Yeah.
But we'll link into that idea there. So I think the first thing we'll use this wall. We'll say anticipating enemy aggression, which dictate when I mean you could just say positioning.
Yeah.
Like anticipating aggro effects positioning. A full word phrase, I guess you can say it. Which again comes down to visual aggro from enemy team / heroes. Whether they can punish you, and like we saw with the Sigma first fight as an example. First fight. And then also visual trigger such as the kill feed, number slash numbers,
Yeah.
and some, like positional stuff too. Positional triggers, like again, if they're like staging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I think like that. The best clearest example I can give is the first two bashes on the first fight on this overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
Of the first fight here, not overtime. But yeah, I think this is
Yeah.
by far the clearest thing because it should allow you to have more gray area with when you can walk up, and not just swing between hey I'm playing really aggro here or hey I'm playing really passively here for no reason. This should give you some leeway or some nuance between that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Second thing I'd say has to be packs. Pack. Pack.
Yeah, okay.
Packing aggro. Again, links into one in terms of like who's all the visual aggro. Thing. And what else to that as well? I guess yeah, you can be a little bit more lenient. If charging rally and team are rolling through again with more disciplined become very important first dive. Yeah, I think that should be yeah, and also I just mentioned the parquet too.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, when you
yeah,
mentioned Pax Vest Dive, I was like, yep.
And then the third thing, which will be like the micro against moving, or rather moving first dive, i.e., prioritize crashing slash
Yeah.
position third needing the whip. So I think that's probably the main one. Again, we saw some examples of that. Like again, when your Ryan died on first at overtime, when you pushed forward there for no reason to get a whip shot, whereas again you should have bashed out earlier.
Yeah.
We saw that on third point defense. When Soldier died and you were saying hello. That's another example there. And actually,
yeah, I need to like bash up before I get the attention.
Yeah. And just to finish this off with this, like, all this, I'll try and find the Admiral example.
Yeah.
I can find it. If I type up Admirals in Super Cup. Okay. That's Crazy Raccoons. That's Liquid. That's SG. That's Way.
Nightmare.
If I just type up Nightmare versus one.
Oh, it was like right there. T1.
I think it's
Oh,
T1.
right, yeah, no, Admiral's, yeah.
Admiral. Maybe it just didn't get uploaded, who knows. I can review the playlist actually. Okay. Admiral. Maybe it's not. That's Way. Don't think it was verse Way. Okay, that's unfortunate. Maybe it just didn't get uploaded. GG.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe you can look at it from like a T1's POV. Maybe that might help.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we can look from Donkhack's POV. Load. Don't tell me there's an ad. Yeah, there's no ad, thank god. It was like somewhere. It was not on this map. Oh yeah, it was here. Okay, great. Right, so yeah, here it is, right? So I'll slow it down. 5.
What is this example of too?
So like basically the whole micro thing about how Admiral made the mistake of whip shotting before bashing away. So you can see here, he's trying to rotate through this open space. That's better. I'll use a better color here. And again, because of that rotation, this guy wants to dive it. Fairly obvious. And then if I slow it down here, you can see he's diving the brig. Admiral is not bashing away. He's not moving away. He's prioritizing whipping the Winston away. So you can see he's gonna hit the whip, right? Gonna hit it. Here's the whip, right? But then gets naded and bashes into a wall, right? And it's very easy to say that this is like it's unlucky GG he passed into a wall, it's just Admiral Lamau, you know? But like in actuality, had he bashed here initially and then went around this corner with lethal, you could still would have whipped Going Hack anyways. You could just out rotate him and whip him if he chases. The bash here is the priority, and because he didn't bash out here early, he ends up bashing into a wall, and also gets dated for it. So that's the micro there, I suppose, against the Winston. Yeah, this is against the Winston Farah here as well. That's the micro I was referring to. It's anticipating the aggro from the Ana, anticipating the aggro on the rotation generally that you need to avoid. So it links into the first point that I mentioned. But that's the example I wanted to show. But yeah, any questions? Any queries, concerns, anything?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, if you do think of anything, or like there's an idea that needs to be clarified, or whatever the case may be, do feel free to DM me. I'll try and get back to you on that.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully you can get our diamonds. And yeah.